Geno Smith just led the Seahawks to a playoff berth that was extremely unlikely. Being ranked the fourth least team by betting odds to make the playoffs, it's pretty impressive that they're even there. What's even more impressive is just how well Geno Smith has done when people thought Drew Lock was going to be the starting quarterback. He managed to beat out Drew Lock and managed to beat out a lot of teams, which is extremely impressive, especially considering we've seen Geno Smith before, and he wasn't this effective. So what made Geno Smith so effective this year? How has he played? And has he earned himself a big contract? Well, let's get in the tape and see exactly how Geno Smith was and what we're going to see from him in the future. What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Coker, and I'm your host for today's episode of Today with Tyler. I hope you enjoy. Being an NFL veteran is exhibited through Geno's entire game, and it's one of the key reasons he found success in Seattle. Smith reads the field extremely calmly, progressing through reads with the poise of a veteran. His calm progression through the defense also enables him to throw to the advantage of his target's leverage, increasing his efficiency. Even when his receivers drop the ball, Smith often places the ball in the optimal spot where only his receivers can get it. Even under pressure, Smith's reads are good due to anticipating when and where his receivers will get open. His anticipation, which is a key factor to any franchise quarterback, allows for Geno to get away with very tight window throws and perfect placement. Geno's mental prowess does combine with physical skills to make him effective against even the best defenses. Geno is extremely accurate and places the ball precisely with ease. He can layer the ball between defenders or sidelines, which brings layers to the Seahawks offense. His accuracy doesn't falter deep either, and he continues his Seahawk legacy of pushing downfield with beautiful throws. His accuracy completes throws that otherwise may be turnovers, and brings confidence to Geno to continue pushing the ball downfield. He uses his ability to read leverage deep, leaving the ball in perfect placement for his receivers to get big chunk plays. In contrast to his age and typical play style, Geno can get it done on the ground as well. He can roll out of the pocket and thrive when he breaks down the play, and can even move the chains with his legs when the coverage is strong, and is actually pretty highly graded at doing so. Geno Smith is in the position to get a contract, and he certainly played himself into a very lucrative one. But how much is he really going to get paid? Because he's not one of the top-end, higher echelon quarterbacks that we see, but he's kind of in that second category, where he's someone you don't want to lose because he's effective, but he's not somebody who's going to win a game for you necessarily. He does need things to work around him, and that's not a bad thing at all. And in fact, it makes for a very good quarterback. And I'd put him in a tier similar to quarterbacks like Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford, and Dak Prescott, who are all kind of the good quarterback, but not great. We're going to be able to do something for your team, but aren't going to be able to win games for you, like the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen tier. So, where does he land? Well, let's look a little bit into the contracts of quarterbacks in the NFL. Starting with Ryan Tannehill, who is the base of this system. Ryan Tannehill is making $29.5 million a year on average value, which is what I'm going to be working with. And in the average value tier, he is the lowest quarterback that isn't Tom Brady. That's an effective quarterback, and Tom Brady kind of doesn't count because he consistently takes extremely cheap contracts, that way his team can do better. But looking toward a more realistic contract, what are we looking at? You've got Jared Goff sitting at $33.5 million. You have Kirk Cousins sitting at $35. There are some in between there as well, but they are also kind of trade deals that didn't really turn out. And then you get to the $40 million deal. And at $40 million, you have guys like Dak Prescott, Derek Carr, and Matthew Stafford. But you can't go much higher than 40 either, because then you run into Josh Allen at 43 very quickly. And there's nobody who's going to argue that he should be making more than Josh Allen. So where's Geno sit in all this? Probably right in the middle. He definitely has earned more than $30 million a year. He's definitely better than Ryan Tannehill. And honestly, his skills that he's put together are better than what we've seen on the field from Derek Carr, Dak Prescott, and this year from Matthew Stafford. Stafford certainly has the upside that Geno Smith may not have, but overall, he definitely has earned a big contract. Dak Prescott has led the league in interceptions this year, and Derek Carr was on the same pace until he was benched eventually. So he definitely has earned more than someone like Derek Carr and Dak Prescott. And I know that's tough for Cowboy fans to hear because they do love Dak Prescott, But in the end, it really is a big deal on how much he's going to make. Because Dak Prescott's making $40 million a year to be an okay quarterback that you have to work around, and Geno Smith is better than that. He's not significantly better, and he does make the same kind of crucial mistakes that Dak Prescott makes, but he makes them less often, which is extremely important. So I think that if realistically he's looking for a team-friendly deal, he'll make something like $33 million, close to the Jared Goff range. It's not groundbreaking in any way, and ultimately it's not going to change the Seahawks' future if he doesn't turn out. But it's still going to make him a lot of money, and he's still going to be in a good echelon of quarterbacks that are still making money for their performance. But if he decides to go against the grain and maybe make max value on his contract, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a little bit over $40 million. Maybe not 41. He'll probably make something like a Matthew Stafford deal, where he's getting just above $40 million, and that's it. So on average value, he's sitting anywhere between $33 million if he decides to play it safe and on a team-friendly deal. But if they want to give him a little bit more money for what he's done for this team, he could see himself going all the way up to just above 40. So it does really depend on how the Seahawks and Geno Smith want to strategize and how much he really wants to make for himself, since he has made a decent amount of money already and he's in line to make a lot more. Geno Smith has definitely earned it, and at age 32, he's in for maybe a 3 or 4 year deal, and maybe even a 5th year if the Seahawks are really feeling gutsy. So Geno Smith definitely has proved that he has earned a contract, and I'm excited to see what they do with it, and I'm excited to see how much he can make, since the NFL wrote him off, but he ain't right back. Thank you for listening, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.